So the big question for people who take up CFA is not now, okay, how do I study for it? That they can figure, but how do I prepare for the exam? Because we all know that preparing for months at a time, and it all then boils down to a few hours on a single day, you need more than the preparation. You need to have all the tips and tricks, and you need to understand what really the body, which is going to correct your papers, how do they perceive you as a candidate. Even though you might feel your knowledge is sufficient, the way you express it matters. So in this video, I'm going to cover how to treat all the 10 subjects of CFA for your benefit. Hopefully this is a video which you should watch once you're done with the curriculum, at least once, and you're more on the lines of exams coming close and you want to prep for each subject and the highlights within them. Now, when you're sitting in the exam hall, the ethics section will come first, and it's designed to mess with your instinct. The best way to approach these questions is to read the last line first. That did John really violate the code line helps you stay focused while you're reading the entire question. And always look for intent and disclosure. If something seems shady and wasn't communicated properly, it probably is a violation. And when in doubt, pick the more conservative and ethical choice. The CFA Institute loves that. Now in Quant, make your calculator your best friend. You don't want to be figuring out the formula for standard deviation mid-exam. Know the keys for TVM, IRR, and annuities without thinking. Also remember, in statistics, when you're dealing with a sample, variance is always divided by n minus 1, not n. And that's one of the easiest traps. And for hypothesis testing, just ask yourself, is the p-value lesser than alpha? If it is, reject the null. Don't overcomplicate it. Now, economics often gets overlooked, but can be a score booster if you stay sharp. The minute you see a currency exchange question, write out the pen. If it says that the dollar per euro is increasing, that means the euro is weakening, not the other way around. And these simple notes help avoid dumb mistakes. For monetary and fiscal policy, just walk through the chain logically. If interest rates go up, investment falls and demand falls. Follow the steps and pick the answer that fits the full picture. Now, when you reach FSA, scan the question for under IFRS or under GAAP right away. That difference will often determine your answer. For inventory questions, assume prices are rising because they usually are in exam questions. And remember, FIFO means lower cost of goods sold, higher profits, higher taxes. If they ask how something affects cash flow, just imagine a mini balance sheet. If an asset increases, it probably means cash decreased. And that kind of quick check can save you from the track options. Now in corporate finance, always be clear on what's being asked. The weighted average cost of capital and marginal cost aren't the same. For things like stock splits or dividends, ask, does this change the actual value or just the structure? A 2-for-1 split doubles the shares but halves the price, keeping total equity unchanged. It reshapes the slices and not the pie. And the same goes for dividends. Unless they signal something new, they do not increase shareholder wealth. Equity questions can feel long, but they're formula driven. If they give you DDM or FCFA based valuation, take 10 seconds to write out the basic formula on your rough sheet. Even if you blank out, you'll probably catch the error just by comparing units, like if a numerator is wrong or a growth rate hasn't been adjusted. For fixed income, identify whether they're testing you on price per yield, duration or convexity, or structure like callable or puttable. Yield goes up, price goes down, always. And when they ask you about embedded bond features, think from the investor's view. Who is taking on more risk and who is getting the benefit? Now, derivatives and alternatives are almost definition. In option questions, write down whether you're dealing with a put or a call, buyer or seller. The confusion usually starts here. Keep it clear and the rest will follow. Lastly, portfolio management. If you see a question with risk and return profiles or utility functions, don't forget to check whether they are risk averse or risk seeking. The answer generally flows from here. For capital asset pricing module based questions, just plug in the formula. If it's a tricky one, remember to double check whether they give expected return or risk premium. The language can be subtle. So guys, I hope that this gives you some kind of clarity on each subject within CFA and what to look out for when you're preparing for the exam. As always, if this helps you, please give us a thumbs up, and if there's any other comment you have, please leave it down below.